Hi, it's Chris Croft here from successfultrainers.com, and I want to talk to you today about online training. How can you do training over the internet and earn a living? And really there are two completely different ways to do it, which I'm going to call Zoom versus Udemy. Now by Zoom, I mean Zoom, Teams, Skype, whatever method you want to use. I personally like Zoom much better than the others, but whatever the customer wants. Now the other option is Udemy, and really that is only Udemy. There are all sorts of competitor platforms, but I found Udemy is the only one really that has a big enough reach, a big enough footfall to earn a living from. Now obviously there is one more really big one called LinkedIn Learning, and I would absolutely recommend watching LinkedIn Learning, and I would recommend trying to get onto LinkedIn Learning, but I wouldn't plan on definitely being on there. Don't count on getting onto LinkedIn Learning because it's invitation only. It's really difficult to get into LinkedIn Learning. Whereas Udemy, anybody can upload stuff to Udemy. Now that does mean that Udemy's full of stuff that's not very good, but there are a few good courses on there. And of course, yours will be one of the few good ones, and that gives you an edge. So we're really talking about uploading videos to Udemy, or we're talking about doing training via Zoom. And for either of these, you've got B2B and you've got B2C. Business to business, business to customer. And I'm only going to be talking about B2B because business to customer is really hard work. Now, Udemy is mostly business to customer, but I'm only interested in B2B because I think that's easier to sell and it's better paid. That's a whole other subject. I'll make a separate video on that. Now, the question is, which one of these should we do? And the thing is, they have totally different earning profiles. So if you do Udemy, you have to do a load of work up front because you have to write your course, and then you have to record it, and then you have to upload it. And once you've done that, you can then earn money forever. But you'll only earn a little bit of money per month forever. So a typical course, if you sold, let's say, suppose you sold 10 a day, which would be good. You sell them for about $15, but you make perhaps, you'll make about $5 after Udemy have taken their cut. It's still $50 a day, times 30 is $1,500 a month. Call it £1,000 a month in my currency. So you could, in fact, I'm going to talk in pounds, it's easier for me, but you could think dollars as well. £1,000 a month. Let's say that's about 10k a year you could be making from one course on Udemy. But it might only be 5k a year. And the first thing to realize about Udemy is it's not guaranteed. So I know some people who've made a whole load of money from Udemy. I know other people who've uploaded perfectly good courses and made pretty much nothing. So there's a risk associated with Udemy. If you do Zoom training, you do it, you get paid, you know the money's there. But with Udemy, you'll make a certain amount forever, but you don't know how much it's going to be. Okay, so that's the first option. Put a load of work in, putting it online, and then you've got residual passive income forever. Now the other option is Zoom training, where you just do a block of training and you get paid. And you get maybe £500 or more from just doing 1 hour. Now of course, there's work up front for Zoom as well, because you have to sell it, you have to find a customer and you have to sell it. And before that, you have to set up a website and become established, get a reputation. But once you've got that reputation, you can just do blocks of Zoom training. Now the snag, of course, with Zoom training, and this is where you're talking to maybe 20 people over the internet for 1 hour, the snag is that when you stop, the money stops. So if we were going to do a mixture of these, which one should we do first? And I would say definitely do the Zoom training first and then get into Udemy. What I would recommend doing is do a series of Zoom training sessions. And imagine if you did 4 a week, that would be £2,000 a week. £2,000 a week, which would be £8,000 a month, which I'm going to call 80k. So you can see that you can make 80k doing Zoom training quite easily, really, whereas you only get 10 or 5k a year if you do Udemy, even though it's going to come in forever with no work at all. But Zoom training is almost no work because you're making 80k and you're only doing 4 a week, and that's 4 hours a week. So it's not nothing, but it's only 4 hours a week to make 80k. This is 0 hours a week to make 5k. So it seems to me the best thing is to do Zoom training, and then after a while, once you've got your material honed and you really know it well, you could then record it for Udemy. I think it would not work very well if you went straight to Udemy and tried to record a course. It's much better to get it really honed in front of an audience, find out what they like and what they don't like, build up your material so that it's really rich and meaty. If you're going to do a good Udemy course, every video needs to be full of interesting nuggets, at least 2 or 3 useful practical nuggets per video. And then you probably need to have, I would say, at least 30 videos on your Udemy course, ideally 50. So you need a lot of material for Udemy. Now you'll build that up in front of a live audience, but to just go straight in and write it would be difficult. So I'd recommend, both from the content quality point of view, but also the financial point of view, doing the Zoom days first, and then after a while, you can then add Udemy on top. Once you're ready, you can start recording Udemy. And then you can add layers of Udemy. So every now and then, record another course. So you'll go from 5k to 10k to 15 to 20k a year. And that's a really nice pay rise. 20k on top of your day job is really nice. You can't live off 20k a year very comfortably, but it'll be a nice pay rise. And if Udemy goes really well, there does come a point where you can stop doing the Zoom training and you can just live completely off your Udemy layers. Maybe if you can build the Udemy up to 40 or 50k a year, you can live off that. And that is doable if you work hard, if you make quite a lot of Udemy courses, but you want to build them up slowly over time. So if you start with Udemy, there's work up front, and then only a small amount of money is going to come in each month. Whereas if you start with Zoom, there's work up front, but you get a decent amount of money every month. So get your 80k going with Zoom first, and then add the layers of Udemy later. And then you've got the choice of whether to stop doing the Zoom and just live off the Udemy, or whether to keep doing both. But you really should do them in that order. Zoom first, then Udemy. Now, if you want to know more about this, contact me on the link below, because I'm coaching people into how to do both of these things, how to set yourself up as a Zoom trainer, but also how to write Udemy courses. So contact me on the link below. Maybe I can help you to become a professional freelance trainer. I'll see you in the next video.